Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gavin Major,
And I'm Man Bobs.
and today we're reviewing the patch notes for the April update. And this we're expecting to be quite a long one, so I'd highly recommend to give it a pause, go get yourself a cup of tea, maybe a cup of heretical bean juice, or perhaps a bottle of single malt scotch.
Or perhaps a nice gin and tonic as well. That's what I'm drinking.
Basically, any alcohol beverage is highly recommended.
Yeah, yeah. This
After
will
all,
be a long one.
and it will be Friday.
Yes.
So over to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so game's been out for nearly a year since the early access. Apparently we're not going to be getting any, was it big rewards till, was it August, I believe they said?
Yeah, August is
Um,
the official 1 year anniversary because the alpha came out in April.
yeah, because I believe you played the alpha sort of around the early time, didn't you? And I think that me and the rest of the gang sort of joined it late April, early May. And I think they're taking that year probably from when they released it officially, wasn't it, on disc copy in August? I think
Yeah,
that's probably what it relates to. So a lot of stuff on this update going down on it. So first things first, we've got on here is they're going to be getting some rewards for the ships again. So we're going to be getting researchable ships, for example, tiers was it 3 and 4? Tiers 4 and 5 we're going to be getting camos, and 6 and 7s will be getting camos and crates. And then the premiums, the tiers 2, 3, 4, and 5 are going to get camos, and the 6 and 7s will get crates and camos. And that's usually from, is it from the first win you get in them? I think
no,
it
this
was.
is going to be. There's going to be like an individual mission for each ship, I believe. It's going to be very similar to what we had to do for the British cruisers, where there was about 3 or 4 tasks we had to complete in that ship.
Yeah,
So it seems like it's quite an interesting way to get people to go back through their tech trees and maybe leave their comfort zones.
yeah. I guess they want people to play the ships that they've spent all this time trying to get to, haven't they? Really, it's quite a nice way to do it.
Mm.
And for the daily win bonus, we're going to get a 3 times multiplier from 16th of April until the 19th. And then all those rewards we just mentioned previously, I think it's going to go from the 16th to the 30th of April. So a couple of weeks to do those. There's quite a lot of ships to get through. Depends how big your roster is. I mean, I've got over like 100 ships now, I think it is. So I'm going to be pretty busy.
Very busy indeed.
Too busy. Hopefully some of them you can do in AI, so I can actually get through them
Give them a
nice and
quick
quickly.
spaff.
Yeah, quick slap in.
Moving on
Alright.
to the Russian battleships. So basically, we've already had these teased. As basically confirmed, it's the Ganga, the Pytor Velek, the Izmail, and the Chinook, which is pretty much what we predicted in our teaser. Stats wise, it's. I don't think there's much point as going over it because we've already covered it in our teaser. So if you want to know more about the Russian battleships, I'd highly recommend going up to our teaser, card top right.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Cash
I
code
think the only thing.
will be available in the tech tree, researchable. The Tier 7 Russian destroyer and the Dirt Ski at Tier 2.
Yeah. I think the next thing we've got on these patch notes is going to be the campaign. So it looks like is it 2 campaigns? Both are going to be, we're thinking Admiralty back in 1250 doubloons. One's a 35 stepper, one's a 40 stepper. And they're sort of, what, they like a couple of weeks to get through, maybe 3 weeks, I think it is. I think it's
I
3
think
weeks.
it's 3 weeks for the first one,
Yeah.
2 weeks for the last.
I think the difference is what they're saying this time is that effectively as each week becomes live, you then basically get the challenges and they can roll over until the end. So you get, week 1 challenges, you can start completing those, then the week 2s get dropped, but you can still, you don't have to complete week 1 the first week, you can still go on to the end.
Yeah,
Same with the second week, give you more time to do it.
it's almost like so week 1 doesn't have to be done that week. So for the objectives dropped on week 1, you have 3 weeks to complete. Week 2, you've got
Yeah.
2 weeks to complete. And week 3, you've got 1 week to complete for the first campaign.
Yeah, and it's going to be the usual with and without Admiralty backing you. Obviously, the rewards are going to be massively different. Seems that you get sort of three insignias with Admiralty backing on the first campaign, as opposed to like one without it. and 9 promotional as opposed to 5. So if people trying to build their commanders who are at that end of the game are going to be sort of interested in that, as insignias don't come along that much. And then, to be honest with you, not too much in the way of much else, just the usual bit of global, bit of commander XP, a couple of crates chucked in there, big ones, and a small helping of doubloons, like 250 I think it is.
Looks like there's a new currency, Imperials, and that'll be probably some form of Admiralty in the store where you can go purchase stuff.
Yeah.
Amy was doing some calcs on this, and he believes that if you complete both campaigns and do very well in the ranked, you could actually get Admiralty backing for the 2 of these at only a deficit of 850 doubloons.
It's not bad at all, is it? And then obviously you can rake in the rest of it. You get for it. And what does it give us at the end, isn't it? You get Russian Commander Mikhail, isn't it? You get with it.
Yeah, Mikhail. So he's a battleship commander. Quite a dashing chap. I like his moustache. It reminds me of
you're modelling yourself on him, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm more of a Vladimir Trevosky myself. That's the look I'm going for.
Things we do in isolation.
Yeah. I was already halfway there and I'm fully embracing it now.
And then the second campaign, we have the allegedly heroic Oleg.
Oh yeah. What was the history on this one again? Is it heroically lost against the Japanese, was it?
Yeah, heroically lost against the Japanese and heroically ran away.
Heroically. But is it a tier 2 spaff ship then? I think we're seeing here, isn't it?
Yeah, tier 2 premium. And as the survivors of D-Day always say, the heroes are left on the beach. So how you can be heroically survived?
Yeah, it looks like it's struggling to overcome a massive wave on the patch note picture actually. So, but the bloom yield is pretty rubbish compared to the first one, isn't it? The value of it is like 34,000 as opposed to like 22,000. But the rewards are going to be much the same, the usual little sprinkling, credits, Commander XP Global. This one, the sort of big reward is the 3 commendations with Admiralty backing, as opposed to 1 without it.
Yeah,
and the 7 promotion orders.
It seems like overall, like the second campaign isn't, although they're charging us the same Admiralty backing, it's not, it doesn't give us as much in overall value. But like you say, in those commendations, if you're short on commendations, actually, ironically, this second campaign seems like it's worth more.
Yeah. I guess you've got to look at the fact that they're combined, I guess they're only going to be 75 steps, and it goes on for the 6 weeks, as opposed to these long ones we've been getting recently, the 9,500 step ones. So it's probably not as stressful to complete them.
Which is probably a good thing, considering.
Yeah. Again, it's been busy, hasn't it, with the whole, duck thing going on as well, and all these challenges, and the Russian drops of the early access. It's been another. We keep saying we want a bit of a breather, and they keep chucking a lot of content at us, which is good, but it's been so busy.
Oh yeah, it keeps me busy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll let you handle the next part. What have we got next?
We got Ranked Battles Season 4 and 5, which may be why they're stepping back from the campaign a little bit here. Season 4 is going to be tier 5 and Season 5 is going to be tier 6. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Maps wise, I don't think these maps have turned up before, or at least I didn't recognise some of them, but we're not quite sure.
No, I think we think that maybe one of them might have appeared before, but largely we think they're new, aren't they? And it looks like what's the big sort of things on this one? You can only go into a division with 2 people, I think is the new rule.
Season 4 is only 13 steps, 77, no more than 2 destroyers. As always, so the number of stars, the number of ranks that you climbed in the previous season counts as stars towards the current season. So Season 3 rank counts towards Season 4 stars, Season 4 rank counts towards Season 5 stars. I think there may have been a typo earlier that someone spotted. Apart from that, there's not much more different. The cutting the divisions down to 2 is quite an interesting one, because if 3 players communicating on one side out of a team of 7, that can be quite a tactical advantage, that level of communication between them.
Well, that's kind of almost the entire force that goes to one side of the map. When you have like a objective base where you go like one, go to the left, half the team goes that way, the right of the team goes that way. Having a coordinated pack of three is quite deadly, isn't it?
Yeah, very
So
deadly.
I think they've realised that. I think the tier 6 ranked, the season 5 one, I think it only goes down to, is it 10 ranks? I think it is.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
only 10 ranks for season 5.
So really short. I'm kind of glad though. There was too many steps on the last one, and the trouble we found was that like playing with like, other members, obviously trying to do the divisions, is that because they got to lower ranks than us, they were like way behind on the list, weren't they? So we started off like 14 or something due to our rank, and they were like down like 16, 17. So they were like many stars behind us, and we couldn't even play together.
Yeah, it pretty much
And
cut
it led
our,
to me and you doing it on our own.
yeah, it cut our team in half, and even when we were playing in our pairs, you would find that just because you had to play so many games, you'd end up having a separation between you.
Exactly.
Rewards-wise, it looks interesting. It'd be interesting to see where the rewards are, but definitely worth some of their 10 promotion orders.
Yeah, the usual sort of plan now that they do is that you kind of start off with one good reward, then you kind of get like a couple of sort of mediocre ones and another good one, and it kind of carries on that fashion until the best rewards at the end, isn't it? Like usually, the harder to grind things. But yeah, I mean it's good. Again, it's quite a bit to do. At least it's all broken down into sort of chunks this time. 2 campaigns, 2 seasons of ranked going on.
Yeah.
So nice little chunks. You can sort of pick and choose what you want rather than just getting dumped with a big campaign if you don't want to do it.
Quite short campaigns too, which is nice.
Yeah. And then I think the next feature is probably the one that's getting you the most excited.
Oh yes, finally a photo mode import. So, wow, admittedly, it's only it's gonna help me a little bit when it comes to the thumbnails for the videos that you see. We do try, honest.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do in Microsoft Paint and Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Other programs are available.
But you just wouldn't use them.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's nice to get photo mode like that. Especially if you want like some screensavers or like some backgrounds to your console as well.
Yeah, and not that it's horrible background. It's very nice the Philippine port, but it'd be nice to like go somewhere else, wouldn't it?
Yes.
To have a different backdrop.
Please, London, please.
Yeah, London. Where's this London?
Yeah,
that's what we really want.
And the nice one to see
yeah.
is that in the patch notes, that's Prince Eugen they're showing off there, but we'll come back to her a bit later on.
Yeah.
Some HUD scaling updates. Looks like they're going to increase the size of the map and the size, or just generally like your size of your HUD stuff. It looks like you can increase it by about 1.25.
Yeah.
So maybe those who play on projectors or sit quite far back from the TV, or maybe have quite smaller TV sets and you want to get that bit more detail out of it.
Yeah. It's like it's always changed a little bit from the early days, doesn't it? I mean, do you remember how like clean the HUD was back in the original month we played it?
How basic it was.
Yeah, basic. With no patches for anything like that. Hardly any information compared to what there is like now.
Didn't even know your own name.
No. It just turned up. Didn't even tell you what the objective was. Go. Just said go, and that was it basically.
The next one is something that we've both been saying since this game came out, as like, why have they not done this? So it's an absolute relief to see them doing it, and that's National Voices.
Yeah, we'll give them that. They've taken a while, but at least after the year mark, they've done it. So yeah, each nation obviously you can have it speak their language, which is just so much better, isn't it? I mean, for you it's going to basically be no different because you only play the British, so you're just going to like.
It's just going to be slightly more British.
Yeah, you're gonna like jump one day and you go, what the was that, when you play a different ship? Like, why is there a German man speaking?
For those of you who do like Little Miss Wanky Wanks, this will override your Azura Lane voiceovers. So you might lose your little bit of pleasure there.
You'll have the visual, but you won't have your audio. So you deal with that as you wish.
It's like the music channel on mute.
Yeah. What else we got?
I'll let you take over on this one because this is quite a technical one.
The ship spotting changes. So I think we were getting our head around this earlier, isn't it? So what they're effectively saying is that when you fire, obviously you go out to your maximum firing range. If you do that now with this new update, even if you kind of retreat away from your maximum range or the ship you're firing moves away, they can still see you for 3 seconds afterwards. Have I got that right?
Yeah, no, that's basically how I've interpreted it. It's also the same for like radar. So say you're a destroyer and say the Atlanta turns on its radar, you know her radar range is 8.5 kilometers. You make a break for that 8.5 kilometers. Once you go past the 8.5 kilometers, you'll be still detected for another 3 seconds. It seems like they're trying to get rid of what they call like a flicker. I mean, I've seen it myself where a ship like keeps like popping in and out because it's literally riding the edge of its detectability. So this basically means that even if it moves away, it's got 3 seconds till it's properly away.
Yeah, I think the one thing we were saying that's interesting is like you were using an example with the Atlanta radar. If you're in a destroyer basically and one's charging at you, you're going to kind of have to factor in that 3 second additional time, aren't you, to retreat away from the situation before the radar picks you up effectively.
It's going to be really quite interesting on like DD versus DD combat as well, because sometimes you break off and then nip back in as well, whereas you're not going to have that kind of flexibility sometimes.
Yeah, so concealment builds are going to become slightly more valuable. I mean, it's a big change. It's hard to really appreciate how it's going to go down, especially with all the new nations and all their all the new individual sort of abilities they have. But it could either be like dramatic or it could just be like minor. Really, I would be interested to see how it goes.
This could really punish, say, like British destroyers, not destroyers, like British cruisers, if they're firing and going to their smoke screen. Because this one says if you move behind cover or leave maximum range, but it doesn't mention anything about smoke. So this could be where if you shoot as you lay in your smoke screen, does that mean you're still detected in your smoke screen for 3 seconds once that's kicked in?
I think you will be. I kind of like tend to find that when they refer to as cover, that usually encompasses smoke. And that's my opinion, but we'll see.
So this will basically mean that if you're in something with smoke, lay your smoke first, then start firing.
Yeah.
Onto the premium goods. We have the German cruiser Prince Eugen coming, which is a tier 7. Should be available for 750,000 global XP. Now, she was kind of teased about a week and a half ago. They said something was coming. She comes with a main battery reload booster. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think it depends how many you get, really. I mean, cruisers reload a lot faster than battleships, obviously. So, I mean, how much is that really going to give you? I don't think a lot, to be honest with you. I know we have this sort of kind of opinion on tier 7A at the moment, don't we, where we just say the fact that it's become sort of World of Battleships a little bit.
Yeah.
And I personally, I would love to get this ship, but I just feel the fact that taking a cruiser into tier 7 at the minute's a bit of a bad idea. It's kind of a bit of a pissing contest between campers who want to sit at the edge of the map in their John Barts and Iowas and just basically spend the whole game just doing that with each other.
Yeah, it's turning a bit of a slugfest.
I'd suggest, unless you really love the ship, I would suggest if you're a medium to sort of low experience, you stay away from it for now.
Yeah, talking of reload booster, I think that's going to take her reload down. Looking at the PC version, she's got a 28-second reload, so I suspect the reload booster will take her down to a 14-second reload. But like you said, how long is that?
She's quite a long reloader, do you reckon then?
Yeah, she looks like she's quite a long reloader.
Okay, well, that might be more useful than first thought. That's a really long reload for a cruiser. That's exceptional. I mean, even like the grass bay with battleship guns effectively takes like 16 seconds.
Oh, bear with. That's the Prince Eitel, which 13 seconds for the Prince Eugen, 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, so a nice little bit off the top, but it's still, yeah, I personally think that most players are kind of used to that kind of reload speed. I don't think it's going to be that beneficial unless you've got like 5 or 6 consumables and you can kind of have like 20-second cooldown between them and you can chain them. That might be quite vicious. But apart from that, I don't think it's that useful.
No. Yeah, for a second now, I was looking and thinking, God, she's got massive guns. No, I had the wrong tab open.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about the German battleship Prince Eitel Friedrich. Now she's a World War One battle cruiser. She's coming to tier 5, so we're expecting her to be coming in at about 10,000 doubloons.
Mm.
Now, I guess a battle cruiser at tier 5 is going to be interesting because at the moment the only ones we got are both at tier 6.
Mm. And then
So,
we've yeah, I think the biggest one that we're kind of looking forward to is probably the British destroyer, isn't it?
oh,
That's
the
coming in.
Cossack. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Cossack. She's a tribal class destroyer coming to us at tier 6. We're expecting her to cost somewhere between 12,500 and 15,000 doubloons. Just going off what we got already. Now the Cossack, almost imagine her take a Jervis, stretch it out a bit longer, and stick another turret on the back. So she's going
Yeah,
to have
so like
quite a
a
nice DPM because the Jervis comes like quite mid-table, like mid-high table for DPM. So imagine improving
mm,
that.
basically it's a Jervis estate then.
And then there's a Jervis estate.
Yeah.
And then but there's also the tier 7 Soviet destroyer, the Leningrad. She doesn't look that special really. She looks like a Minsk. I mean,
Yeah.
we already know that quite well, myself included. Minsk isn't really our cup of tea.
Yeah.
So a
I
premium
think we've
version of it.
yeah, nothing rushing. I think the big elephant in the room for us, isn't it, is the next one.
Oh
The
God,
V
yeah,
Day permanent camo.
yeah.
Now like we
We
go
So
on.
we have the Minsk, which is Russian. Uh, Fair enough.
Yeah.
Russia was involved in the Second World War from
Yeah.
1941 until 1945. We have Alabama, New Orleans, Texas, and Texas Alpha for the United States of America, involved in the Second World War from December 1941 until 1945. We have Agile for France. Now, depending how you look at it, I mean, 1939 to 1940. Then we have Vinci France, but then we also have Free France. But then we have 1943, 44 to 1945. It depends how you count Free French forces and when France completely turned, like the puppet government got turned back to, well, France got liberated and stuff. But
Mm.
as a nation there, and her empire, which I feel has been overlooked.
Yeah. I mean, we fully appreciate that the allies listed there are definitely all deserve a VE camo, but you would say that probably the one that deserves it the most, or at least number 2 in some people's eyes on the list, would be the British.
1939 to 1945. Apparently, our efforts
Don't
have
deserve
been
a camo.
overlooked. Yes. The Royal Navy, the biggest navy at the start of the war, has hey, don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah,
So,
don't worry about that.
So back to the port, would like to officially lodge a complaint with Wargaming in regards to the lack of the British and her empire and her colonies input into the Second World War being excluded by the VE-Day permanent camouflages.
Yeah. Yeah, not happy about that. Not happy about that at all.
Now, going on to the miscellaneous stuff. So this is the last thing really. There's going to be more things in store to blow your credits on.
What do we have in here to blow our credits on?
It doesn't say. But no containers this time. So I
Ah.
guess that's no Soviet crates, but
Okay.
something else, maybe booster flags.
I think some that's going to be. I
Mm.
think the other miscellaneous thing that probably you're better off explaining is is it the radar?
Yeah, so they're doing a trial on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. God, that's so confusing. With the Tier 7 cruisers, the Baltimore, the Japan, and the Edinburgh, and basically they're testing a animation which, when the ships turn on their radar, for them and their team, they will see like a green pulse come out from the ship out to the maximum range of the radar, therefore letting basically letting their allies know that that ship is using their radar to help spot. It's something that we've said it would be nice to know when people are using things. I mean, my thoughts personally would be nice to have like a chat menu on the left which tells you XX is turned on sonar. XX is turned on radar. XX says thank you, like a little chat. But we'll see how things go in the future, won't we?
Yeah, or even just a voiceover, just say like Allied cruiser using sonar or something, just something in it,
Hmm.
just to sort of give you some indication. Um,
There's a
and then
couple of things to wrap up the
yeah,
ducks. As your XP goes on the Albany as always. The Cap and Fishy are buggering off.
yeah,
Um,
they're taking their 20-kilometer bathtub with them.
the only other thing I can say that is of note here is that rubles that can now be spent, well, will continue to be, if you have any, they're going to stay with you. And after the patch, you will still have them, and you'll be able to spend them to buy small Soviet crates, in which there will be a chance to get Russian battleships. So if you have any of these crates before the patch, they're only going to contain destroyers and misc other stuff.
Mm.
If you buy them after the patch, they may contain Russian battleships and other stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's
So we're thinking save them, isn't it? Really, if you this thing is nearly coming to an end with obviously the early access to the destroyers, isn't it?
yeah. So if you,
So
I can't remember if the Kutsov missions give you some rubles, but like the daily objectives and stuff, I'd be tempted to save them all up.
yeah, see what you can get. Might as well just chance your hand at the battleships because they said the destroyers will be there to grind as normal soon on the tech tree.
Yeah. Then there's
And
oh
yeah, bug fixes. I think there's nothing really of major note there, really, is there? To be honest.
no, nothing there. A couple of bugs that we have noticed, but it's nothing game changing. There's nothing that we
Nah.
know are there. There's one last thing. It's literally just come up on the World Warships Legends feed, and being we're coming out Friday, might as well mention it. There's going to be some Easter missions coming up. This will just allow you to get an Easter patch symbol and patch background, along with 8 basic containers. Battle takes place tier 3 to 7 in standard mode or against AI. Basically, it's just going to be a couple of missions. I think they're saying, is it 2 separate missions or like 2 independent missions side by side or something like that?
Yeah, it's 2 mission chains of some kind. They're calling it.
Yeah. So you can just do that to get a couple of extras. Really, I mean, we've got a bank
Yeah,
holiday weekend coming up in the United Kingdom, so
and it does say you can do it against AI as well if you're one for the spaff. You could do
one
it
for the
that way.
staff.
Yeah. I think that's it, really, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
probably a bit of a long one, but there's quite a lot to cover, and and it's nice to see they've acknowledged that it's been out for a year, and they've kind of got a lot of stuff out here, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were saying that before we started playing World Warships Legends, we were playing Battlefield 5 as a squad, and
Mm.
we kind of that didn't wasn't polished and stuff. And then when this game came out, we were all looking for a change, and we all ended up drifting over here.
Yeah.
Only a day or 2 ago, I decided let's have a look at Battlefield 5. Let's see where they've gone in a year, and there's some pretty maps, some pretty guns and stuff, but it doesn't feel like there's any sustenance there. It doesn't feel like it's moved on significantly enough to feel like to grab me back. Whereas looking at how far this game has come in a year,
Oh
it's
yeah.
drastically different. Like Battlefield 5 is supposed to be like an A-list game. World Warships Legends is it's one of those random games that people just pick up or have heard of and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you know it's bad when you go into like a store like Game or something, and I've done before, as I did with Iron Dan to go pick up the disc copy of this. I was like, "Can I have World of Warships Legends for PS4, please?" And the guy was just like, "Huh?" You had to like go on a computer and like talk to like a couple of colleagues, and one of them goes, "Oh yeah, I think I know someone who might play that." Like, have a look out back, sort of thing. And then they've got like a couple of copies of it.
Mm.
You know, no one's ever heard of it.
So, yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see it keep growing. It keeps evolving. It keeps bringing us back for more. I think that was one of the reasons why we decided to start the channel. It just found like it was one of those games which was perpetually going on, where there was always something that we wanted to say.
Yeah. And it's quite nice the fact that they're steering it to what people want, though, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of things they've covered here that we kind of been saying from the early days. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if they did that sort of thing? And
Mm.
they are listening to people and putting it in. Quite a lot of it, really. So overall, good job. Just don't forget that the UK took part in World War Two. Would be nice.
Yeah, just a little nod, please.
But apart from that, well done.
Yeah. Well, I'm the Galloping Major.
And I'm Man Bobs, and we're going back to the port.